Namaste children. I am going to teach the first session from 5th unit Green Skills. The session name is Sustainable Development. Session objectives. In this lesson, you are going to learn what is sustainable development, what are all the importance of sustainable development, what are the problems related to sustainable development, what are all the goals of sustainable development, what are all the initiatives of sustainable development, and what are all the processes of sustainable development. Everything you are going to learn from this session, children. Introduction. Green skills are those skills needed to adapt processes, services, and products to climate change and the environmental regulations and requirements related to it. Everything around us forms our environment, and our lives depend on the natural world around us. Over the years, with economic development, there has been an increase in environmental pollution. For example, with the introduction of high input agriculture, we can grow more food by using fertilizers, pesticides, and hybrid crops. But it has led to soil and environmental degradation. We need to plan the use of resources in a sustainable manner so that we and our future generations can enjoy the good environment. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is the development that satisfies the needs of the present without compromising the capacity of future generations, guaranteeing the balance between economic growth, care for the environment, and social well being. Importance of sustainable development. With increasing population and income, the consumption of goods is increasing day by day. This has led to increase in production and utilization of natural resources, which are required for producing goods. Society must thus change its development strategy to a new form where development will not destroy the environment. This form of sustainable development can only be brought about if each individual practices a sustainable life cycle. Since most of the natural resources are scarce, therefore, careful utilization of resource is necessary. Sustainable development is defined as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Problems related to sustainable development. Three major problems related to sustainable development are food, water, fuel. Food. The amount of rich, fertile land needed to grow crops such as wheat, rice, etc., is becoming less as we are using up more and more land for other purposes. Soil nutrients are also getting depleted, and lots of chemicals are spoiling the soil due to use of chemical fertilizers. Water. We use fresh water from rivers and ponds for drinking and cleaning, but dump garbage into them. The rivers and ponds are getting polluted. This way, after several years, we will have no clean water for our use. Fuel. We are using a lot of wood from trees as fuels and for construction of homes and furniture. As more and more trees are being cut, it is affecting the climate of the place. Extreme weather conditions such as floods, Extreme cold or heat are seen in many places which affect the people living there. An environment friendly way for production of power is using solar energy or energy from the sun, which is unlimited. One major example of large scale production of solar power is seen in Charanka, Gujarat Solar Park. This barren land with wild vegetation has a mega solar power plant of 600 MW. This has reduced the dependence on non renewable fossil fuels in Gujarat. The people of Charanka have benefited as they have a good source of income, and this will also help future generation in the next 40 to 50 years to come. Sustainable development includes reducing excessive use of resources and enhancing resource conservation, recycling and reuse of waste materials, scientific management of renewable resources, especially bioresources, planting more trees, green grassy patches, and trees to be interspersed between concrete buildings, using more environment friendly material or biodegradable material, and use of technologies which are environmental friendly and based on efficient use of resources. Now let us see the goals of sustainable development. The 17 sustainable development goals have been made with the aim to take care of important issues facing businesses, governments, and society. Some of these issues are poverty, gender equality, water use, energy, climate change, and biodiversity. Countries are now making policies and regulations that will promote sustainable systems needed in all economic sectors to provide a secure, affordable, and sustainable economy. Sustainable Development Goals. The goal of sustainable development is to meet the needs of today without compromising the needs of tomorrow. The Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call of action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The Sustainable Development Goals were launched at the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in New York in September 2015, forming the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Sustainable Development Initiatives. When plastics were banned by the Municipal Corporation of Mangalore, an innovator and entrepreneur, Mr. Ashwath Hedge, found an eco friendly alternative. He made a 100% biodegradable bag which can dissolve in hot water and decompose in natural environment. This is now being used in many countries and is going to help the environment. Another innovative idea was to stop the use of plastics, spoons, forks, etc. Narayana Pisapati made edible cutlery made out of a grain. These spoons can be eaten, and even if they are not eaten, they will easily decompose in the soil, enriching it. Let us see the sustainable development processes now. Some practices, such as organic farming, vermicomposting, and rainwater harvesting, are being used to help preserve the environment. Organic farming is where farmers do not use chemical pesticides and fertilizers to increase their production. They use organic and natural fertilizers such as cow dung to help in growing crops. This helps in better quality chemical free crops while at the same time maintaining the soil quality for future use. This is a true example of sustainable development where we are not only using the earth resources but are also preserving it for future generations. That's all. The session over. What have you learned from this session, children? The definition of sustainable development and the importance of sustainable development, and what are all the problems related to sustainable development, and the goals of sustainable development and initiatives of sustainable development, and what are all the process of sustainable development. Everything you learned from this session. Read this session, children. In this slide, I gave check your progress exercise. Read it and answer it, children. Let me end up the lesson with a saying: Go green, say no to all plastic to make your life fantastic. Say yes to all eco green to make earth beautiful green. Thank you, children. We'll meet in the next session.